Hey, welcome back to the Buddy Show. Coming to you once again from the beautiful city of Siem Reap in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Uh, I'm not really into doing the videos anymore. I liked it when I first started doing it in San Luis Potosi in Mexico. Part of that is the reason I am doing it. Two or three reasons. One of my friends, Steve, said it's really been a long time since you've done a video, and it's been 7 months. And I met a couple of friends there, Jim and Karen, and so we were very good friends in San Luis, in SLP as they call it, and they're now here in Siem Reap. They've been traveling. They did all of Europe and met another of our friends, Paulette and oh man, I forgot his name. Anyway, in Albania, where I was considering moving. Although if you watched the last one I did, which was in Salakamruk, I was in the Wat Damnak area. I stayed there for 6 months, and as I mentioned in that video, I moved to Wat Bo, which is very, very nice neighborhood. The apartment itself, while huge, faced the rising sun. It got so friggin' hot that it wasn't tenable. The landlady wasn't very nice. Everybody else in the neighborhood, if you're coming to Siem Reap and you want a hip little action neighborhood, I highly recommend Wat Bo. I was going to go to the Philippines, and obviously didn't, since I am still here. And I was going to go because I was in touch with a number of Filipinas, and we were talking about prurient things, and I thought, no, I'm not going to spend $200 to go there round trip, and just for that. And so I met a woman here. I have a girlfriend now, call my girlfriend. She's half my age, and great cook. She used to cook in restaurants on Pub Street. If you come, Pub Street is the walking street. It's not the prostitution area. But it's the tourist area. I went there with my girlfriend and her son for Halloween. I'm not much of a stay-out guy, and I don't like crowds at all. And I watched videos of other people who went there, and it got, wall to wall, and I hate that shit. Sorry, I'm as usual just rambling. So that was the reason I didn't go to back to Philippines. I'm happy I didn't. I didn't really like the Philippines. Philippines are great for women. The food is not any good, in my opinion. I lived in Cebu City in the IT area, IT Park, and ate a lot at Carinderias, which are local food places. And if I found the food too greasy, too sweet, too salty, and just it was okay in the beginning, but I pined for Thailand food. And then, of course, if you haven't watched in the past, I stayed in the Philippines for about 3 months and just had enough. And I moved back to Thailand. Now, I started my venture in Thailand. I'll go back because you probably didn't watch it. But I moved from Mexico to Thailand, and I spent first 3 nights in Saigon, which is crazy. Food is great. I liked Thailand better, and I moved to Chiang Mai. I love Chiang Mai. It was a little too far from everything. If I were going to go back, I'd probably go to Chiang Mai or maybe Hua Hin, which I've never been to, but it's a beach town. Thailand is getting full of Russians now. And so from the Philippines, I moved to Pattaya. Excuse me. Pattaya is a shithole full of, as my friend Jeff calls them, lager louts, and also Russians. And I hated it. I lived in a fairly nice area, which other people consider, which is Jomtien. My building was full of Russians, and Russians, good people, for the most part. And I stayed there. So I stayed in Chiang Mai for a year, and then I stayed in Philippines for 3 months, and Pattaya for a year, and I just couldn't wait to get out of Pattaya. My friend Steve, who I mentioned earlier, told me he said, well, have you ever thought of Siem Reap? Siem Reap, okay, you can call it that. No, never even heard of it. I'm an inveterate researcher, so watch all these YouTube videos, and I thought, God, it looks like I imagine Chiang Mai to have looked 25 years ago, and I I'm not one to vacation, so every place I want to go, I just move there. And I did. And for those of you who have been keeping track, you know that. And I lived in Wat Bo for 6 months. It's one of the great things about Cambodia is you can get 6 months leases, no problem. You can even get probably a 3 months lease if you wanted to pay a little more. I'm in a $250 a month, 1 bedroom, excuse me, down on the end of Sok San Road. Now, if you know Siem Reap at all, Pub Street, the walking street, is not the hooker area. Sok San Road is. Not that I moved there for that. I moved there over here, back over on this side, so I could be closer to my girlfriend. So she could be closer to me when she drives, and she cooks me dinner every day, and that's worth it. But I'm way down at the end of Sok San Road and not near the girly bars. They're girly bars, but when you drive by them even in the daytime, which I'm never at night, and one is called Seduction, and it has the outline of a naked woman. Okay, you don't have to hit me over the head with it. I never pay for sex. You can. When my girlfriend and her son and I went Halloween to Pub Street, we sat at this place where she used to work. She used to cook, or maybe she's a waiter. But it was 50-cent drafts. You can't beat that. Everywhere you go, you can find 75-cent drafts and dollar cans of Cambodia or Angkor beer easily. So it's cheap. It's really cheap to live here. Electricity is not cheap, but probably compared to what you pay in the West, it's still really cheap. I was shocked that I had to pay $65 last month when I was used to paying less at the other place. But I'd probably been using my aircon more because there's more people in the house at times. What else? So that brings you up to date, I guess. I got my extension, which is a year, and it cost me $315. I mean, that's the reason I moved to Cambodia, was because cheap and really easy visas, retirement visas. If you're under 55, which is retirement visa age here, you can get another visa and stay long-term, easy. The Kingdom of Cambodia wants you here. I don't know if us expats want you here. I love the fact that everyone is going from Thailand over to Vietnam. I think Thailand has shot themselves in the foot. They don't really appear to want foreigners there. They shot themselves in the foot by making weed illegal. I mean, sorry, but a lot of people like that, and that was a destination for them. And they're kind of screwing with expats with visas and bank accounts. If you want to know anything about that, my friend Wayne has a YouTube channel called Walkabout Wayne, and he's sort of in the beginnings of that bank business now. He's a really good guy, and he obviously loves Chiang Mai. If you want to know about Southeast Asia in general, my friend Philip, Big World Cinema, BIGG World Cinema. There's an Irish guy living here in Siem Reap, Khan something. He does great videos about why he prefers it here as opposed to Vietnam or Thailand or Malaysia. I recommend those guys because I'm not going to do that. As you know, it's been 7 months since I have made a video, so I'm not going to be that guy. First of all, the more recognized you become on YouTube, the more assholes come out. And there are assholes everywhere. I've lived twice in Mexico and in Thailand twice, and Philippines, and I've been here over a year. And you go to Facebook groups, and they're assholes. So, I mean, not everybody, of course, but some people have no reason to live except to be an asshole on Facebook groups. I use them occasionally when I want to find something I don't know. I am vicious to trolls, very vicious, and they generally don't come back. What else can I tell you? So I'm going to stay. I love Siem Reap. Oh, a Nan with a backpack. That's Sonia. She likes it here a lot. For real. RIEL, which is the currency here. And they do really good videos. Jeremy and I'm sorry. here's the old joke, because you've heard it before. Memory is the second thing to go, and I can't remember the first. But anyway, they don't watch me, so they're not going to call me out on it. There's probably others, and when you go to Claire and Jeremy's For Real site, they have a whole list of expat YouTubers that are around here. Of course, my good friend Gio, always, Gio in the Philippines, or Gio on the go, I think is his thing now. After 9 years in the Philippines, he moved to Bangkok, and he always had this caveat, oh, I'm not saying I'm leaving Philippines forever. Yeah, right. He's in Bangkok now, the big mango. So I don't see him. He'll probably come here at some point, Phnom Penh. My friends, as I talked about Jim and Karen, they're going to come over for dinner one night soon. My girlfriend's going to cook Khmer food. Khmer, you'll see the word, if you haven't already heard this from me, you'll see Khmer, it's pronounced Khmer, they're the Khmer people. And they were in Phnom Penh. They coming to Southeast Asia, because I told you they did Europe. Coming to Southeast Asia, they went to Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, and then where did they go? Oh, they went to Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, then they went to Phnom Penh, and then they're coming here. And what Karen said, and I talked to Jim the other day, they were considering, okay, it was nice to visit Southeast Asia, but I don't know if we ever need to come back. They're probably going to go move back to Southern Europe. And Karen said, oh, hold on. They got to Phnom Penh, and they said, I like it here. And that was the last thing I heard from them. Well, actually, they're here now. And so we're going to meet up. But I suspect, particularly now that there's someone they know, me, and soon my girlfriend, here, Siem Reap reminds me a little of San Luis Potosi in its size and its neighborhoodiness. And Siem Reap is the second largest city in Cambodia, but I'm telling you, it is a small town. In my opinion, it's really, if you live in the center where I have been, you can walk almost anywhere and take a tuk-tuk for 75 cents to $1.50. If you come, get past that and take the remorques as opposed to the, what do they call them, rickshaws. You'll see this on PassApp. You want to get PassApp when you come here, which is a ride-sharing app like Grab. The rickshaw is a little covered in little tortoise shell on a motorcycle, and a remorque is basically a horseless carriage. It's literally a carriage, also drawn by a motorcycle. And the difference in price, it's less than 1,000 real, and a real is a quarter. So it's worth it because you're out in the open air and you can see everything. I'm catching people up if you have not watched all my videos. The most stable currency in any country I've ever lived in, Mexico has varied widely. When I was living there, it was 20 pesos to the dollar. Now it's fluctuated. And so here it's roughly 4,000 real to the dollar. And it just doesn't change. And it's always going to be that. You can spend your dollars here, your American money. I don't, because I'm a local now and I spend real. Actually, I use my bank app because even little mom and pop places where you can go buy kebabs or something, they have the little QR code. So really, really easy. I hooked it up to PassApp, so I don't ever have to pay. I mean, I'm paying. It's coming out of my bank account, but I don't see it go. I talked fast, didn't I? I went to the store this morning. So there's a lot of local markets here. On this side of the rivers, there's called the Old Market. You cross over the bridge, and then there's the night market. I have bought at the Old Market, but I lived on that other side for a while, and I went to the night market, and they have a lot less tourists. And so they are happy to haggle with you. I bought a straw fedora. And my friend Dave, who I probably might not see again because he lives on the other side of the river, he bought one. I say, hey, Dave, that's a cool hat. Where'd you get it? I got it at the old market. How much was it? $8. So, I mean, if you're an American, you're going to think $8, that's pretty decent. So my friend Jeff and I were eating lunch, and I walked back. I was going to go to the little Anchor supermarket, the mini mart, and I walked by one of the little stands at the night market, and there was the same hat. And I said, how much is that? And they said, $6. So you see the difference there. I said, oh no, that's too much. I said, I'll give you 3. I said, I'll give you 2. And they said, no, 4. I said, 3. And they said, okay, you got to haggle. You have to haggle here. And they want you to. If it's too low, they're going to tell you, no, I can't make any money. So I didn't buy the hat. I went where I was going, and I was wearing my Red Sox cap, and I went to lunch with Jeff again, walked back, went to the same spot, wearing my Red Sox cap, so the woman recognized me. I said, we talked about the hat last time. And she said, yeah. I said, you told me $3. She said, 4. I said, you've already told me $3. And she said, okay. And then, it was $3. I'd go get it, but I don't want to leave you with blank space. It's a straw fedora, a Panama type hat. And so I bought a Siem t-shirt as well, because it fit. And she gave me a good price. I can't remember. It was cheap, $2 or something like that. So the takeaway from there is when you come here, and this is going to be true, I think, almost anywhere in Southeast Asia, haggle. Not for fixed price stuff. You're not going to go to the lady who's giving you a pad thai and say, oh, let me get it for 3. No, it's 4. You go down to the riverfront here, as I've said in the past, you can get a meal for $2, hot, cooked fresh, in a beautiful area. I mean, Siem Reap is beautiful at night. It's all lit up down by the river. I highly recommend it. What else do I want to tell you? Nothing. I've got no desire to live in America anymore. There was a time when I thought, yeah, I could probably move back. But one of the things I remember, particularly now that I've lived here in Southeast Asia for 4 years, is the underlying kind of meanness, I mean, the last place I lived was New Hampshire, and New Hampshire isn't really known for that, but there is the New England, and I grew up in New England, the New England reticence, or, if you've not lived there, you're not from there, and you don't belong there. I didn't really get that vibe, but there was a vibe. And I suspect that vibe and the division in my country, in the U.S., has grown even wider now. If you live there, you can comment in the comments down below and mention that. And I hope that you like and subscribe. And so if people are subscribing, I'll try to do more videos. And if you're asking questions in particular, I'll definitely do more videos, if nothing else, to answer your questions. The big question amongst retired expats or those about to retire is age gap relationships. There's no way of getting around it. It's a thing. It exists. It exists in in Cambodia. Cambodia still has a bad rap from the Khmer Rouge, which was 20 years ago. Nobody even knows about that anymore. But I haven't been to Phnom Penh yet, or Kampot, or any of the other cities. I really love Siem Reap. We'll go sometime. But there's none of that. I've never got it from expats here, but if you're going to get it, it's going to be from foreigners. That's it. But so yes, age gap relationships are just as prevalent here as they are in Thailand. And they're very prevalent in Thailand, and even more prevalent in the Philippines. So, but so if that's one of your questions, and my friend Steve asked me, what about age gap relationships? Well, yes, my girlfriend is half my age, and which last month she was half my age. Now she's 36. So yes, easy peasy. If you want to, there are really no dating apps in Cambodia. Date in Asia maybe, which I got thrown off years ago. Thai friendly. If you put in Cambodia, you'll get Cambodian women. Most of them are from Phnom Penh, but there are Siem Reap women. I met my girlfriend on Tinder. Now, as you know, if you live in the West, Tinder is really kind of a hookup app back home. Here, I'm sure it is, but it's not really. It's a dating app. Now, you're going to see on there, some girls, women, you're going to say short term. Now, that and dating apps in Thailand meant freelancer or bar girl, prostitute. I met and knew a number of women when I lived in Pattaya, never paid for any of them, even though some of them asked afterwards. No, I told you that. But here, Cambodian women, Khmer people in general are the friendliest people I've ever met. Not everybody, of course. But Pattaya, there were a lot of friendly people in Chiang Mai. Pattaya, some unfriendly people because it's got a bad rep, it's sexpat central. And those people give all the rest of us a bad name. Here, I think it's just when you get a bad attitude, which sometimes you get from tuk-tuk drivers, not very often, very rare. But then I think, okay, you just don't like foreigners living in your country. Now, some of you are like that too, particularly now. What else? I mean, that's really what people want to know about, as I've said all along. Once I moved to Southeast Asia on my YouTube channel, is that rents are cheap. It's a renter's market here. You can rent. Go onto YouTube and look up Siem Reap. There's a lot of foreigners here, and they do a lot of apartment reviews. I don't want to live in a $150 apartment or a $50 apartment because there's some things I want. I want a one bedroom. I want a television that I can hook up my Roku stick to. Here, what's the problems with this apartment? Because I am going to move. First of all, we had 3 refrigerators. So the refrigerator broke, and now this one works. The washing machine broke. Okay, that stuff happens. But when we moved in, the fan didn't work. And we had talked to her about that in the beginning. I moved in and it still didn't work. My girlfriend told her, and come on, hey, what's the deal? Got it fixed, and that's fine. Most of you have never seen a water heater in the bathroom. And it's this little thing about that big, and it's right at the shower. And the thought of electrocution is always on my mind. I've never even heard of it, but you may run into that if you come here, not in a hotel or anything like that. But my washing machine is in my bathroom. Now that is not a problem in and unto itself, but it empties onto the bathroom floor. So I make certain, or my girlfriend makes certain, that it's unplugged before we go back in, because there's water, or at least dampness. And I've never heard of that. I've never even seen an apartment like that. So that's just not, it's nice here. This end of Sok-San Road is great. There's 2 restaurants that I've not been to yet. One is the morning restaurant, which is Khmer noodles. Khmer people eat like a light curry noodle in the morning. And across the street, there's a beef soup. They are freaking packed. And they're only open for about 4 hours, but they're packed the whole time. What else? I don't know. I think I've talked long enough. I hope you have questions. I will do my best to answer any of them. Unless you're an asshole, then I'm just going to block you. Most of my viewers, which, I mean, I haven't done a video in 7 months, and last time I looked, I had about 600 subscribers. So I'm never going to make any money on YouTube. It's not my intention. My intention is to advise and inform and to let you know, a little bit how it's going for me. Okay. Again, subscribe, like. I'd say ring the bell, but I never do that. Besides, if you watch my channel, you'll see it on your YouTube. And it's high season here. It's winter, and which means so I went out in a tuk-tuk this morning to the store, and I thought I could wear a sweatshirt. And I'm talking, it's in the upper 70s. So I've lived here long enough to where this weather is, I won't say cold, but if I had jeans and a long shirt, I'd wear them. But I got rid of that stuff long ago. So like and subscribe. Comment down below. Ask me any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Come to Siem Reap. I'll show you where to have a cheap beer or nice beer. There's a couple of nice craft beer bars here. And until then, easy for me now, probably for you in that it's winter where you live. Stay frosty.